Hello and welcome back to Arcane Nexus, also known as Shadow Nexus. So, the website's coming along good, y'all. Let's see. Might have to adjust this volume a little bit. Let's see if I can turn this up. How's that? A little bit better. I'm trying to hear myself in the headphones same time. So, alright. So, I've been down for a minute. Because I went through a profound let's call it another awakening, alright? Because we don't just have one type of an awakening, right? We have multiple awakenings because there's several different types of triggers, right? We have several different types of triggers, some greater than others, some minor, some in the medium range, you know? Everybody's different. Not everybody's awakening happens the same and plays out accordingly, because we all have our own path, right? All right. So before okay, well, I don't want to lose my train of thought. So that being said, let me share my story. All right. So, well, I was down. I mean, like at first I thought I was depressed, right? And it's just like I felt real heavy, and I mean like heavy to the point that it felt like gravity was pulling on me so hard that there was this invisible weight on me that made me feel like I had 300 pounds of invisible weight. I mean, just to barely move was extremely difficult. It was extremely difficult. Like, there was a point where, you know, I couldn't reach for my phone, or, you know, I wanted to cry out for help, you know, and I couldn't say anything. Like, you know, I'm just laying there in bed, I'm crying my eyes out, I'm just like, you know, pleading out to my guides, my ancestors and source creator, like, you know. And I said, look, I was like, you know, this can't be all my weight. And if it is my weight, then, you know, I'm sorry. And, you know, I forgive myself. I forgive you. And I love you, you know. And, you know, if it's not my weight, then the same goes for that too, right? That, you know, I might not love, or I might not know everybody in the world, but I don't need to, because I feel everybody in the world, right? And I said, you know, if it's not my weight, and this is, you know, collective humanity weight that I'm feeling, you know, that I forgive humanity, and that I forgive humanity, and I'm sorry, because I know that, you know, we tend to blame ourselves when we don't have a higher understanding of why we do the things that we do, and or why others do the things that they do to other people. And see, there's lessons that we have to learn in life, and that's the approach. That was my call. You know, I was definitely being tested, and that's what I said, is that if anybody understands, I'm one of those who understands as an empath that, we all make mistakes, but that's, in turn, that's what makes us human. So we mirror each other, and so I forgive. It's like that Bible verse. And speaking of Bible verses, we're going to speak about that in a minute. So there's that Bible verse that says, to forgive those who trespass against us, right? And so it's honing in to recognize that we're one and the same, and I went to sleep on that, crying, feeling the way that I felt. And I woke up today, and I just feel really light. Like it's I'm a little emotional still, but I woke up and I just felt really light, like I did before any of that took place, and I dealt with that for a good 3 days. So it wasn't easy. It was really rough. And, but as a Scorpio, I'm one who transmutes a lot of collective energy. And so I don't just transmute my shadow work and integrate, but as an empath, I feel the collective humanity. Like, even those who ain't even had an awakening yet, those are the ones that I'm feeling the most right now, and we're in a time that is very, very difficult, and all the things that's being brought up from deep down, being brought to the surface, because of we just had the lunar eclipse, blood moon, right? So that's bringing a lot from that we're not aware of on back burner to the surface. Things are resurfacing, revisiting that, especially if you haven't dealt with a lot and you have, instead of facing them head on and doing the work, your shadow work, and integrating these things, with love, then a lot of these things are coming to the surface now. And they have been for a long time, but now, with the lunar energies and everything, we're getting ready to go into a new moon, ascending, and then followed by that on, I think the 26th is the partial solar eclipse. So we're in for another solar, so get ready for that. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that there's going to be a lot of us that is not only are you going to feel this collectively, you're going to be revisiting yourself as well, on a very, very deep level. So if you haven't yet, then get ready, because you're going to go through it, and it's not going to be easy, but one thing I can promise you is that you got this. You got this. If I can do this, you can do this. Okay? So, and don't for a second, even if you ain't got no family, friends, and whatever, then don't think and believe for a second that you're alone, because you're not alone. You know, you have beautiful guides and ancestors and angels that are waiting to communicate with you, waiting to work with you. If you just do the work and step into your gift, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so I'm gonna leave that there, because I have something that I wanted to discuss, and this message in particular goes out to the ones that are out there fear-mongering, spreading fear. Basically, they're going against the collective. So all the collectives out there, all the people who have gifts, who are out there like me, sharing the message and sharing our gifts, channeling and doing reiki and processing healing and everything, getting messages out that do tarot, all that stuff. You know, there's this collective out there who want to preach the fear-mongering Bible versus like they know the Bible, this and that. Okay, first and foremost, let me explain that I am not religious. I am not religious. I used to be a born-again Christian, but a part of me woke up that I remembered as a kid and going to church that something just didn't sit right with me, right? And I've always looked up at the stars and believed that I was here for a reason. I have a wonderful gift and I have something great to share with the world. And I didn't know what that was as a kid then, but I was always uncomfortable in church. Like, you know, I didn't understand why a loving God would condemn somebody to eternal torment. And it's just not right. Don't sit right with me. Like, that's not a loving God. That's, you know, a loving God doesn't require sacrifice. That's not the loving creator. You know, this is what we know as the demiurge, the demigod, the Yodaboth, and the archons. If you're not hip to that, then I suggest doing some research, getting into the story of Sophia and everything. And another note too, I'm also going to add here that if you're out here preaching the Bible, saying that people with spiritual gifts, claiming spiritual gifts and doing tarot and all that stuff is a sin, and that, you know, they're trying to lead people the wrong way, well, then this here is for you. Okay? And before I go on about this, I also wanted to state this also, that the fact is, okay, you want to believe that for a fact that everything you're reading is true, right? But are you going with what your innate inner voice is telling you to be true? How does it feel? How does it resonate? That you know it to be true, right? Excuse me. Because what we have here is, and this is a fact, you can look it up for yourself, that the number one scholars, biblical scholars in the world, right, can't even decipher the rest of what is that a lot from the tablets and the Dead Sea Scrolls and everything, that has made biblical canon. And then you got a group of people that have so far, and then they decide what is canon and what is not. So canon versus apocryphy, right? If you don't know what apocryphy is, do your research. Basically it's prophetic journaling, in other words. Okay, so I know my stuff. I've done my research. So basically, I'm going to jump into this real quick, and then I'm going to translate and correlate how this ties in to starseeds and everything else too, as well. So, I meditated on it, and what jumped out to me, right, was in the first Peter, right? Okay, so chapter 4, you can check this for yourself, verses 10 through 11. It says, "As each one has received a gift, minister it to one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. If anyone speaks, let them speak as the oracles of God. If anyone ministers, let him do it as with the ability which God supplies." God as in the source creator, not the punishing demiurge God and archons, because that's what that really is. On the other side of things, when you do your research and you go through the Nag Hammadi library and everything, there's a website you can go to for that too as well. Okay, so there's that. All right, and then I'm not just gonna leave it there, because I got all of them. This is all that was given to me. So Ephesians, right, chapter 4, verse 11 through 13. "And he himself gave some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, for the equipping of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ." All right, so we know that the body of Christ is right here. This is the church, right? This is the temple, right? Because it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 through 20, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from Creator? You are not your own alone, therefore honor thyself in oneness, living in divinity. Therefore honor thyself in oneness in truth. Earth sustains the body, while water replenishes the body and the spirit." New International Version. All right. Now, Romans, right? Chapter 12, verses 6 through 8. "Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, let us use them. If prophecy, let us prophesy in proportion to our faith or ministry. Let us use it in our ministering. Those who teaches in teaching, who exhorts in exhortation, who gives with liberality." Again, liberality. Liberals here. "Who leads with diligence, who shows mercy with cheerfulness." That's New King James Version. And then we got, 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, verses 4 through 11. "There are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are differences of ministries, but the same Lord. There are differences of activities, but it is the same Creator who works all. But the manifestation of Spirit is given to each one for the profit of all." All right. Okay. So there's that. So for anybody who's out there, Bible thumping, Bible banging, dogging on the collective, people who have spiritual gifts, do your research before you out here with your serpent tongue, all right? And be judging everybody else. Who are you to judge somebody else? When clearly it says right there. I gave plenty of reference to those who are judging other collectives that are out there with gifts. Right? Demonizing us and everything else. Shut that shit down. Sit down and shut up. Because you don't even know what you're talking about. If you're out here preaching this shit, then know you should have read this before you was out there even running off at the mouth. Period. Right? So I'm going to put that shit in check right there. So don't even try to drop a comment on my shit acting like you know something, because trust me, I'm well educated. I'm very well educated. And not just the Bible either. Alright? I don't just study one Bible. Like, you got to do your research. You got to hone in with your intuition. And, you know, we have these tools. We have the godshead instilled within us so that we can, therefore, navigate through difficult times, through challenging times that we're in right now, right? That's where we're at right now, all right? Which brings me to, okay, Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17, right? No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment. This goes to all y'all who are out there, right? This is for y'all. All you Bible thumpers out there talking about we're sinners and shit. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me. King James Version. Go check the reference. All right. Now that that's out of the way, we're gonna sit here, and this is what popped in, and this has been coming up a lot for me, like the past few months, to be honest. But it's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. All right. Spiritual wickedness in high places. So we're talking about other so-called gods, right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the demigod, the demiurge, Yaldabaoth, the archons. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the entities in the deep state who are out there, right, trying to get us all divided against each other. See, I have nothing against any religion. All due respect, do you. I respect all religions, all right? I don't care if you, in my opinion, right, in due diligence, okay, I respect all practices, all religions. I don't judge anybody, you know. So when I was sitting there saying, you know, Bible thumper, whatever, I'm just being silly. But at the same time, I'm being serious as to say, you know, check yourself, because you should not be out here joining the division. You doing that, speaking against your brother and sister who you should be supporting. You know how much energy it takes for us to transmute the negativity that you're putting out there? Do you know how much that weighs on us? When you are out here being a part of the division that the powers of darkness have your eyes, you're walking around with a blindfold on. That's not faith. That's not faith. If you were strong in faith, then you would know from your heart space. You could take that blindfold off. Because I guarantee you, the people that you're preaching against, when you don't even know everything that you're talking about, you can go to these group of people, me included. You could put a blindfold on and do a trust fall, and I guarantee we catch you. We catch you. But how many strangers could you go to that you don't know, right? That claim to be part of what you're doing, right? Would you trust them to catch you? Do you think they catch you? I can't say if they would or not, but I know people with good heart, and that's starseeds and indigos and earth angels. You know, that's us. That's us. We're here to transmute these energies, the ones who are channeling, the ones who came here to help transmute energies to raise the collective consciousness so that we all as a whole in oneness can raise the planet's consciousness to Christ consciousness, right? And we'll get on this. I'm going to speak on this a little bit later, and we'll get into some more of how it's actually about consciousness and everything else, and how this is the body. You know, the chakra system is our energy, right? Everything is energy and vibration. It's proven. You can't deny that, right? You know, you got low vibration, you got lower energies. The universe is a mirror. So, you know, why do you think we have yin and yang energy, right? Why do you think that opposites attract, right? Why do you think duality exists, right? All right. So, for those of you who don't know about the concept of starseeds and indigos and earth angel incarnates, right? You know, this all ties to the idea that certain souls have chosen to incarnate here on earth, right? During this time of transformation and awakening to assist in raising the planet's collective consciousness. And so these identities are often, you know, they're associated with spiritual missions, higher vibrations, and having a deep sense of purpose. So like when I was talking about when I was a kid and I'd look at the stars and I always felt this deep pull, right? Okay, so let's break this down, right? And explore what it really means and how it applies to you and others who resonate with these roles, right? Because I'm running up. It's almost 30 minutes right now. So I'm going to leave this clip right here, and then I'll start another clip because I get cut off at 30 minutes. So I'll stop it here, and then I'll pick back up in the next clip. All right, welcome back. Second clip. Okay, so picking up where we left off. So what I'm talking about here is the times that we're in now. And we're talking about the Great Awakening, okay? So if you're not familiar, the Great Awakening, okay, is this is referencing to the spiritual shift that is happening on Earth and has been for a while now. And this is where people are becoming more aware of their spiritual nature and the interconnectedness of all beings. All right. So we're talking about the need to heal ourselves and the need to heal others. Right. So to all of the collective out there who are Reiki masters, Reiki students, healers, okay? 9 times out of 10, if you're an empath, you're a Reiki healer. I've met a lot of collectives who are empaths, and they are Reiki healers. Their hands get hot and stuff like that. So if your hands get hot a lot and, you know, clammy, and you don't know why, it's because you're a healer. Jesus was a healer, right? Okay. So the awakening involves, right? It's moving from lower vibrational states. So fear, division, materialism, to higher ones, which is, you know, love, unity, and enlightenment. So it's a collective evolution, right, of consciousness. And it's often described as it's humanity stepping into a new era. So a new era of awareness, where this is sometimes referenced as the 5D consciousness, right? Going from 3D to 5D, stepping into new Earth, right? So 5D consciousness is related to the age of Aquarius, right? So that being said, who are starseeds, indigos, and earth angels? Okay, these are the terms that describe souls who feel called to assist humanity during this time of awakening. All right. So, you know, starseeds, the origin is like, these are the people who believe themselves to be souls who originated, okay, from other star systems. Other star systems, other dimensions, or other planets. And the mission of a starseed is, starseeds incarnate to Earth, right, to share wisdom and raise the vibrations and guide humanity towards unity and love and enlightenment, and transmuting the negative energy into positive energy. So if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan and you know how Goku works, you know, we're talking about you're pretty hip to the spirit bomb, right? Remember how Goku takes the negative energy spirit bomb and he transmutes it from dark energy into all light energy and reflects the attack, right? It's famous. So if you're a DBZ fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. And I love my DBZ for real, because hey, there's a lot of truth in Dragon Ball Z too. So, you know, okay. But anyways, moving on. Indigos, all right. So this is often associated with indigo children are the ones of the late 20th century, right? So these are the ones who came to challenge the outdated systems, and dismantle the old paradigms, and build new, more harmonious systems, you know. So the traits of indigo children are, the strong-willed, rebellious, against authority, intuitive, and driven by a deep sense of justice and purpose, right? So if this resonates with you, then you're probably an indigo, all right? Earth angels, however, are believed to be the angelic souls who chose to incarnate in human during these times in order to help humanity make the transition, the shift from the lower dimension to the higher dimensions. So whenever you hear 3D, that's the material, the old paradigm, okay? That's where we're at. And energetically, we're shifting into the fifth density now. That's where we're currently at. Shifting into 5D. We are transitioning at this very moment, at this time, during these times, right? That's why everything is dissolving. Everything is crumbling. We're watching it happen. Take a look around at the world around us right now, as it is, and tell me it's not. Okay? So, so Earth Angels are here to help heal, comfort and guide others. They help to spread love and compassion and raise the collective vibration. And so there's a lot of similarities, right? So what does this mean, though, for the collective? We're talking about the presence of starseeds, indigos, and earth angels as a part of the divine plan, right? To assist humanity in this critical time. And, so how does all this apply to us as a collective, right? So we're talking about healing and transformation. These souls are here to serve as catalysts and catalysts, to serve as catalysts for healing, helping others to release old traumas, to help others release limiting beliefs and negative patterns by embodying higher vibrations. And we inspire, others to do the same thing. And by doing this, it creates a ripple effect of transformation. It's like the power of numbers, right? The more numbers that's behind another number amplifies that number, right? That's how it works with angel numbers and messages. And so like seeing 333 and 222 or 1111, 1111, the 11 being the master number, 33 being a master number, 22 being a master number. So we're also talking about numerology too, but not about just specifically the messages or anything, but I'm talking about the enhancement, right? The multiplicity, so power by numbers, like, so majority rules, right? So the more collectively we come together in this, in unity, then the higher the vibration raises on the planet entirely, which affects every single human being on the planet as a whole, right? So, okay, so, when we challenge the status quo, right, then, like indigos in particular, are here to challenge the outdated systems. And, we're talking about education. We're talking about government and societal norms. And we're seeing that happen now. We're watching it happen now. So you can't tell me it's not happening. It's happening now. We're making the change. We are the change. Right? But we have to stick together in unity and work together, not against each other. Right? That's where the verse comes in, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We're not supposed to be divided. We're supposed to be working together. The battle's not with brother and sister, mother, father. It's not. It's with the powers, the rulers of the darkness. So y'all need to not forget that. So if your beef is with another human being, then you need to check yourself, because you're obviously in a battle with yourself, your ego, and you're divided. So why not get undivided and join the battle and get unified, right? Check your heart space. That's where you need to be coming from, right? So that's paving the new way, right, for more harmonious ways of living, right? So spreading love and light, and we're talking about the earth angels and the starseeds who radiate love and light, and reminding others, like myself, reminding you now of your divine nature, and helping those who are lost to reconnect with their higher selves, right? So raising the vibrations, we are all the souls, right, who work together to raise the collective vibration of the planet. And therefore we are helping humanity itself shift from fear-based consciousness, 3D love-based consciousness, to fifth density, right? So how does this apply to you, right? If you resonate with being a starseed, indigo, or earth angel, then this knowledge can empower you, right? So ultimately what this boils down to is we're talking about embracing the mission, embracing your mission, our mission, doing what we came here to do, right? Some of us, whatever you resonate with. And that comes with understanding that your unique gifts and sensitivities are part of your purpose. And So you're a healer, you're a teacher yourself, or you might be an artist, or simply someone who spreads kindness, right? Your role is vital. It doesn't matter if you're a channeler or a tarot reader or not, because it doesn't matter. Like what I said with the First Corinthians, right? Chapter 12, 4 through 11. There are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are differences of ministries, but the same Lord. There are differences of activities, but it is the same Creator who works all. But the manifestation of Spirit is given to each one for the profit of all. We don't all have the same gifts. We all have different quirks and, things like that. Some of us work with darker energies. Some of us work with lighter energies. We have to embrace both. That's the yin and yang of life, right? The only way to dissolve the help me out here. I just spoke on that too. Well, never mind that. It'll come back around, right? So to dissolve the duality, that's what I was looking for, right? And integrating it by understanding what purpose it actually served for us to, step aside, get out of our own way in order for us to see things from a different perspective, to have an open mind, to be down to earth and open to other subjects. I mean, a closed mind, in my opinion, if you're looking at a one-way street, it doesn't take you very far, does it? How many of you, raise your hands, hate one-way streets? Don't make sense, does it? Like, why the fuck is there a one-way street anyways? Like, so, yeah. So, with that comes self-love, and, you have to remember that before you can go out and start healing others, you need to heal yourself first, right? Now, I'm not saying that you can't help heal somebody else. You can with experience, but if you've never done any of this work before, then you shouldn't be jumping the gun hey, I can heal you if you don't even know what you're doing. These things do require certain types of experience, right? We have certifications for a reason. I'm certified numerologist, I'm not certified in Reiki yet, but it's something I'm looking into, so anyways, everybody has a practice, everybody has a part to play, etc. So we have to remember that what's important is that we heal ourselves first, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Simple and plain. You can't pour from an empty cup. And that's all there is to that. So focus on your own healing and your own spiritual growth so that you can serve others from a place of wholeness. When you have something to give, when your cup is overfloweth, is your glass half empty or is it half full? So, and staying connected to your higher self, with practices like meditation, grounding, and connecting with your guides can really help you stay aligned with your mission, right? So, and with that, we are able to spread more awareness, we're able to share our insights and wisdom with others in a way that resonates with them, like now, like what I'm doing now, right? And so this could be like I'm doing now. It could be through conversations, it could be through other creative works, or simply living as an example of love and authenticity. You know what I'm saying? So, and that is what we call holding the light, right? And holding the light in times of chaos or darkness, right? So our role, or your role, is to hold the light and remind others that there is hope, there is love, and that there is a higher purpose for all of this in the most challenging of times, even, right? So, you know, practical ways to fulfill your mission, right, is like, you know, being kind and understanding, right? You know, even to those who may not even yet be awakened, have yet to even have an awakening, right? So it's practicing compassion, you know, and, you know, doing that goes a long way, and it helps create that ripple effect, right? So then, you know, sharing our gifts, and, you know, whether it's healing, teaching, you know, creating, you're an artist, you make music, you know, these are the things that inspire and uplift others. You know what I'm saying? So that's really important to highlight there. So, and then when we do these kind of things, we're able to create community, right? And connect with like-minded souls. And by doing that, we are able to amplify our impact. And when we amplify our impact and support one another, it makes, again, amplifies that ripple effect. And it's a continuum over and over and over with repetition, you know. And another thing that's important is honing in and staying centered and grounded, knowing when not to deplete yourself, right? It's knowing when to take a step back and get the rest that is required to replenish mind, body, and soul, right? So there's that. And then, so staying grounded is, you know, it's the balance in your spiritual work, right? And, you know, with grounding, okay, you know, this is the practice to help stay connected, right? And by staying connected to Earth's energy, and this is also scientifically proven, there's plenty of videos on YouTube where people are showing holding, they're like, oh, I can't remember what those devices are, but they show how Earth's Schumann resonance, Earth's heartbeat, the Schumann resonance, right? They hold these little meters, and they show that putting your feet on the ground, holding the meter in your finger, ground you, right? Putting your bare feet on the ground, because we are electric. We're electric, and majority of our body is water, right? So look it up. There are videos out there of people showing holding the meters walking barefoot, and then getting off the grass and back on the grass, showing the meter change, because that's groundedness. We connect with the Earth's energy grids. That is a thing. It is real. It is fact. All right. So that being said, it's be a beacon simply by living authentically and embodying higher vibrations. By doing that, we inspire others to awaken and join the cause, right? Something that just popped in my head was given to me right now was the movie Terminator, right? Join the resistance against the rise against the machines, right? Oh shit. But no, I mean, in a sense, that's the same thing. I mean, kind of crazy considering the race to AI and everything that's going on right now. AI is crazy right now. So why is this important now? All right. The current times are marked by both, right? Great challenges and opportunities for growth. And the old systems of division, greed, right? So we're talking about greed and fear are crumbling. It's making way for the new systems based on unity and love and sustainability, right? So starseeds, indigos, earth angels, we're all here to guide humanity through this transition, and ensuring that the shift happens with as much grace and as love as possible. Remember, you have brothers and sisters to uphold here, even if you don't know it. If it's a bum on the street, help them out. Hold the door open for the next person, etc., etc. You see somebody that's having a hard time, go and talk to them, offer them some counsel. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be out here, reading Bible scripture, dogging other people. Like, look, we all have to learn from mistakes. So when I put all this out on blast, it's because there's a lot of people out there who, are preaching bullshit. And the only thing you're doing is adding to the fear. You're adding fear. You're giving the enemy exactly what he wants by going against your brother and sister. Rather than uplifting them and helping them, you are speaking against them. And you are one and the same. Simple and plain. So, final thoughts here is that, for me at least, and please comment below and let me know how this resonates for you and where you come from, because I need more interaction on my channel, and I would love to see your comments and see where you're coming from. Now, my final thought is that if you feel called to this path, right, it means you are part of a beautiful divine plan to assist in humanity's awakening, right? Your role, whether big or small, is essential. By staying true to your own purpose, healing yourself and sharing your gifts, your light, your dark, you contribute to the collective evolution of consciousness, and you therefore help create a new earth that's rooted in love and unity and a higher awareness. Okay? So, that being said, I'm going to end this video here because I'm at 30 minutes. And then I'm going to put this video out, and then I'm going to follow up with a message. Okay? So, let me know how this resonates for you. And can't wait to see your comments and everything else like that. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And with much love from my heart to yours, all around the planet, everybody, without prejudice, I love you, and thanks for tuning in. Namaste.